Hi, my name is Lauren Walker, and I'm going to talk about how certain forms of sexual education programs are failing adolescents in the United States and which sex education program would be better to use. There are two types of sexual education programs that are used in the United States. There is the Abstinence Only Until Marriage program, also referred to as AOUMS, and the second type is called Comprehensive Sexual Education. AOUMs are commonly taught in high schools throughout the United States. These programs teach that teens should wait until marriage in order to have sex. Comprehensive sexual education teaches students medical information and knowledge on how to prevent STIs and unwanted pregnancies. While AOUMs do send out the message to wait until marriage to have sex, they still fail in many ways. For starters, AOUMs don't actually teach about ways to prevent STIs or unwanted pregnancies. They just give out the message of not being sexually active in order to avoid problems that could arise from sex. Here is a graph comparing STIs in Europe and in the United States since 1980. The United States has had an increase in cases of chlamydia, while Europe has not. Something that is important to remember when looking at this graph is that Europe is well known for their comprehensive sex education, while the United States is not. AOUMs also use fear-based tactics to scare teens from having sex. Although this scene is from the popular comedy Mean Girls, it relays an important message while poking fun at a common scare tactic used by AOUMs. The whole "if you have sex, you'll get an STI" tactic might scare away some teens from having sex, but according to McCammon, the fear tactics that are used in these programs do not prevent teenagers from participating in sexual activities, and they especially do not explain how to prevent the STIs. Therefore, when a teen does eventually become sexually active, they are not aware of how to have sex safely. Another problem with AOUMs is that they are expensive. Here in this graph from 2017, you can see that $75 million was used for abstinence programs in the United States. Nearly a third of federal funding was used for AOUMs instead of comprehensive sex education. To continue where we left off about what's wrong with AOUMs, they enforce harmful gender stereotypes. According to Mintz, AOUM programs reinforce harmful gender stereotypes such as female passivity and male aggressiveness. Another stereotype that Mintz points out is that AOUMs use slut-shaming, implying the idea that women who have sex before marriage are all used up and will not be desired in the future. This is not a fair accusation to make towards young women who have chosen not to wait until marriage to have sex. And finally, AOUMs are known for stigmatizing the LGBTQ community. An example of how AOUM stigmatized the LGBTQ community can be borrowed from Mintz, as she explained a real-life example of a concept that was taught in an AOUM program. This program told the males in the class that they'd have a 90% chance of catching an STD when having gay sex. Not only is this information wildly inaccurate, but it also gives the impression that the majority of gay men have STDs, which reflect poorly on the LGBTQ community as a whole and could lead to others discriminating against the community. Now to head towards a more contemporary way of teaching sex ed, comprehensive sex ed does not provide false information like AOUMs do. In fact, comprehensive sex ed provides medical information about STIs and teaches contraceptive methods that can prevent unwanted pregnancies. Here are some contraceptive methods that would be discussed in a comprehensive sexual education class. Comprehensive sex ed gets a lot of negativity because many believe that it is promoting promiscuous behavior. However, Reverend Mary Harkey, president and CEO of the nonprofit Religious Institute, works with thousands of religious leaders that are in support of comprehensive sex ed. The Reverend described to Burns that by giving adolescents thoughtful information and guidance on moral decision-making, honesty is active and also effective at promoting sexual health. So despite it being medically proven, AOUMs remain the only form of sexual education for the majority of schools in the United States. The United States owes it to adolescents to end AOUM programs and to provide comprehensive sex ed in school. There is hope, though. Many are standing up to the legislative branch in order to change laws to create better sex education for adolescents in high school. Despite AOUMs being a very popular form of sex ed in America, the U.S. can rise against AOUMs and demand the federal government to provide more funds for STI research and sexual education programs that are full range and teach more than just abstaining from sex, an unrealistic expectation for teenagers. By providing adolescents with medical information and true facts about preventing pregnancies and STIs, America's teen pregnancy and STI rates could potentially have a dramatic decrease.